At 5:43 a.m., the city is still dark, and Sophie Lane is already inside the station, holding a mug that tastes like metal and regret.
Gordon, you cannot cut the weather desk again.
Budget says I can, and ratings say I should.
People plan their lives around warnings. You are not deleting that just to chase a celebrity podcast.
Gordon Pike slides a paper across the conference table, and the ink feels colder than the winter air outside.
Sign the transfer, or I shut your segment down today.
Sophie signs nothing. She walks out with her hands shaking, because 5 years ago, a warning she never gave becomes a tomb she visits in her head. When the morning show ends, Mara Chen, the senior editor, finds Sophie in the hallway, eyes red but chin lifted.
You pick battles like you pick storms, quietly, then all at once.
I am not letting him erase us.
Then go to the archive room. If he wants to sell the equipment, we inventory first.
The archive smells like dust and old laughter. Sophie opens a metal cabinet and finds a reel-to-reel recorder, heavy as a secret. A taped label reads West Channel, 102.1, the 12th of July, 2019.
This should not even work.
She presses record, and her voice spills out careful and steady, as if she can control the sky by choosing the right words.
Good morning. This is your local forecast. Light rain in the afternoon. Gusts after sunset.
She rewinds and hits play. Her own voice comes back, but the audio is not from this room. It carries a faint hum, like an open highway. The station intercom crackles. A younger technician, breathless, calls from the sound booth.
Mara, are you testing old gear on the live feed? We are getting a ghost signal on 102.1.
Sophie freezes. Her forecast recorded 2 seconds ago is broadcasting somewhere else. And someone else.
What date are you set to, Ryan?
July 12th, 2019. Do not ask me how. The console just shows it.
Sophie grips the recorder until her fingers ache. July 12th, 2019 is the day Ethan Jong goes missing on a mountain trail during a flash flood. Ethan is her senior in college. He is the bright laugh in every outdoor club photo. He is the person she never dares to keep. Her throat tightens and the room tilts, as if time is a stairwell without rails.
If this reaches that day, then it reaches him.
She hits record again, and this time her voice breaks, because fear is a language her mouth finally speaks.
Tomorrow the West Ridge gets a severe storm. Do not go to Cedar Valley Trail. Please, do not go.
The reel spins. The red light blinks. Somewhere 5 years back, airwaves carry her plea like a paper boat into a river. Behind her, Mara stands very still, as if moving might tear the moment.
Sophie, listen to me. If this is real, it will not be gentle.
Neither is losing him.
Outside the archive, thunder is not in the sky. It is in her chest, and it refuses to quiet down. Sophie grew up watching storms on a tiny television in a trailer park. She learns early that the sky can ruin a life without apology. When she lands this job at Metro Radio, she thinks accuracy can be a kind of mercy. Ethan is the first person who treats her voice like it matters. He asks her for a forecast after class, and she pretends it is casual. 5 years ago, she sees a flash flood alert on her phone while she works a campus shift. She thinks Ethan will check too. She does not call. When the search ends, her silence becomes the loudest thing in her world. Now the recorder sits in front of her, like a second chance that refuses to stay still. She tests it 3 more times. Each time, the ghost signal jumps to 2019. Each time, Ryan confirms the console date.
It is like the station is haunting itself. The waveform looks clean, not random noise.
Do you hear anything coming back? Besides clicks?
Faint tuning, like someone spins a dial, then stops. Like they are trying to find you.
Sophie imagines Ethan in a cramped apartment, packing gear, radio on, hearing her warning and laughing because she sounds too serious. The thought makes her furious. She records again, sharper, because she cannot bear being ignored by the past.
This is not a routine update. This is a severe warning. Cancel the hike. Stay in town. Do not be brave. About weather.
Mara writes down everything Sophie says, timestamps, settings, the exact tape speed, because evidence is the only shield they have. When Sophie leaves the archive, she walks past the studio window and sees a billboard outside. It shows a smiling host, and beneath it reads new voices, new audience. The billboard feels like a dare. Sophie whispers back under her breath.
I am still here.
In the parking lot, rain begins to fall, thin and cold. Sophie looks up at the clouds and lets the droplets hit her face, as if the sky is stamping the day as real. Sophie returns before dawn, before Gordon can lock the archive. She carries a notebook full of weather maps and a heart full of 5 years. Each day she records a forecast for the present, then another for July 2019, and the second one always trembles.
Morning. Fog lifts by 9. Evening. Temperature drops fast. Bring a jacket. If thunder starts, get off the ridge, find lower ground. Do not argue with the sky.
She speaks as if Ethan can hear her through the static. She imagines him smiling, radio clipped to his backpack strap, boots muddy, hair a mess. Mara watches the door, counting minutes like they are beads on a rosary.
You cannot do this forever.
I only need 1 day to change.
At noon, Gordon barges into the archive with 2 interns and a clipboard.
Inventory is today. That recorder goes to surplus by Friday.
You cannot touch it. It is station property, pending review.
You do not have the authority to tell me no.
Sophie feels the word no rise like bile. She swallows it because she needs the room. She needs the machine. After Gordon leaves, she drives to her apartment and pulls a shoebox from the back of her closet. Inside are college photos, a torn hiking flyer, and an old campus radio schedule with Ethan's scribbled notes. A picture falls out. It shows Ethan at a campus event, holding an umbrella over someone outside the frame. On the back is a pencil line, faint but clear. Every Wednesday, listen to Sophie's weather. Her voice is gentle. Sophie reads it 3 times. Her eyes sting. 5 years of guilt turns into something sharper. Something that hurts because it is sweet.
He knows my name. He knows my voice.
Of course, he does. You are not invisible, Sophie.
The thought lands like sunlight on bruised skin. Ethan listens. Ethan notices. Ethan might have been walking toward her, even as she stands still. That night, she records again, and her words slip into confession disguised as caution.
The valley looks calm in the morning, but storms hide behind clear skies. If you feel safe, double check anyway, and if someone cares about you, do not make them wait forever.
Ryan calls from the booth, voice low, as if the walls have ears.
We are still seeing the signal spike on the old frequency. Somebody in 2019 is replying with tiny bursts, like they are tuning.
A reply, not a voice, just a pattern, a handshake across time. Sophie presses her palm to the recorder, warmth to cold metal, and whispers like a prayer.
If you can hear me, blink back. 1 click for yes.
Static, then 1 clean click, like a fingertip on glass. Sophie's knees nearly give out. She laughs and cries at the same time because hope is a cruel drug, and she is taking it willingly.
Do not let hope turn you into ash.
I would rather burn than do nothing again.
Outside, the city enjoys a clear night. Inside, Sophie waits for a storm that happened 5 years ago. The routine becomes obsessive. She maps mountain microclimates from 5 years ago, compares them to archived radar, and writes warnings in the margins. She practices Ethan's name so it does not sound like a stranger in her mouth. Every time she hits record, she pauses 1 beat, because she hopes he will recognize the silence, the same way he recognizes her voice. At work, Gordon assigns her to cover traffic updates, a quiet demotion meant to embarrass her.
You want to fight me? Ha! Fine. Go talk about the freeway. Let somebody else do weather.
Sophie does it anyway, then runs to the archive, because the past does not care about office politics. She starts adding coded phrases. Ones only Ethan would understand.
Trail conditions are slick. Remember how you hate wet socks? Do not do that to yourself.
The clicks return in patterns. 1 click, 2 clicks, 3. Like Morse, she does not know, but her body still answers. Ryan builds a small monitor in the booth to log the spike times and prints them for Sophie.
It looks like whoever tunes in, they do it right after you say his name.
Sophie takes the printout home and circles the times until the page is bruised with ink. She finds Ethan's old social media posts, photos of cliffs and sunsets, captions about chasing horizons. In one photo, he wears a cheap radio clipped to his vest. Sophie's stomach flips.
He carries a radio. He really carries one.
Mara brings her a sandwich. Sophie forgets to eat it. Mara does not scold. She only stays.
If you save him, you will still have to live after. Do not forget that part.
If I save him, I will learn how to live. I swear.
That night, the recorder sends back a new sound. A breath, a half laugh, then static. Sophie presses both hands to her mouth to stop herself from screaming. Sophie starts keeping a log, titled Weather for the Dead. She hates the title, but she keeps writing anyway. She notes humidity, wind direction, pressure drops, and also the things she cannot chart, like how her hands stop shaking when she hears a click back. She tries to call Ethan's old number from her contacts, forgetting it cannot connect across years. The automated message says the line is disconnected. The disconnection feels like a slap, and it makes her record with more tenderness, as if softness can bridge the gap.
If you get tired, rest. You do not have to earn the view by suffering.
She remembers a day on campus when Ethan lends her his umbrella, then walks into the rain without one, laughing at his own stupidity. She never tells him she keeps that umbrella. It is still in her closet, ribs bent, fabric smelling faintly of pine. On air, she sounds professional. Off air, she writes Ethan's name on sticky notes and throws them away, because even writing it feels too intimate. Mara catches her once and does not comment. She only turns the radio volume up during Sophie's segment, as if to remind her she is heard. On the third day, Sophie opens old news archives and watches the tragedy build like a slow wave. Flash, flood warning, issued. Search teams, deployed. Family statements. Then silence. The kind that never ends. She scrolls until her fingers go numb. The date does not change. The headline does not change.
It is not working. It is not working.
She slams her laptop shut and sinks onto the archive floor. Back against the cabinet, breath ragged, Mara kneels beside her, not touching at first, because grief is a live wire.
The device may only send sound. It cannot move a body.
Sound moves people. That is the whole point of radio.
It moves hearts. It does not always move choices.
Sophie wipes her face and stands, anger keeping her upright. She records the blunt truth. No metaphors, no gentle warning.
Ethan Jang, do not go to Cedar Valley tomorrow. You will not come back. I am begging you.
The recorder sputters, the red light flickering as if it is tired. Sophie presses closer, voice hard, then suddenly soft.
You do not know me like I know you, but I have carried you for 5 years. Please, let me put you down alive.
That night, exhaustion drags her into sleep on Mara's office couch. In the dream, rain turns the world silver. Ethan stands under a streetlight, hair damp, smiling like the day before graduation.
You sound different on the radio lately.
You can hear me?
Sometimes, it comes through like a warning, like you are holding the sky back with your hands.
Sophie tries to run to him, but the ground is water, and each step sinks.
Do not hike tomorrow, please. I should have told you before. I should have called you. I should have said your name out loud.
I hear the fear in your voice. I also hear you trying to be brave. I promised my friends we would finish the ridge. We plan it for months.
Promises are not worth dying for.
You say that like you already know the ending.
Ethan's smile fades, not into anger, but into understanding.
If you are from later, then you are living with something heavy.
It is my fault.
No, it is weather. It is luck. It is my stubborn pride.
Sophie wakes with a gasp. Her cheeks are wet. Mara sits in a chair, eyes tired but steady.
You were talking in your sleep, calling his name.
I think he is hearing pieces. I think he knows it is me.
Mara exhales. A slow surrender.
Then you tell him the truth, and you also prepare for the truth you cannot change.
Sophie looks at the recorder. The light glows weak, like a candle nearly done. She understands something she hates. Time is not a door. Time is a wall with one crack. And her voice is the only thing that fits. The archived radar confirms the storm timing. The flash flood wall hits the valley at 3:17 p.m. Sophie records the exact minute again and again, as if repetition can carve a new path in time.
At 3:17, the river rises fast. If you are anywhere near the gorge, leave now. Now.
She waits for a reply. Nothing comes. The silence feels like a verdict. She goes to the public library and pulls old hiking guides, looking for alternate routes, alternate choices, alternate outcomes. A librarian asks if she needs help. Sophie lies and says she is planning a trip. On the drive back, she passes the exit toward the mountains. Her hands tighten on the wheel until her knuckles whiten. At the station, Gordon announces an audit. He wants to track unauthorized broadcasts.
Somebody is tampering with frequencies. If I find out who, they are gone.
Sophie stands in the back of the room, face blank, heart racing. Later, Mara slips her into the archive through a side stairwell.
You have one more night before he pulls the plug.
Sophie records with urgency that tastes like panic.
Ethan, if you go because of pride, you are not brave. You are just stubborn. Be smart, for once.
In sleep, the dream returns. This time Ethan looks tired, as if he has been listening for days.
I think somebody is messing with the station. My friends call it the weather ghost.
It is me. It is future me.
That is insane. And yet, your voice feels like home.
Sophie laughs through tears, because home is the one word she never expects to earn.
If you are from later, tell me one thing. Do I hurt you?
You leave. You disappear. I spend years trying to forgive myself.
Then I am sorry, not for hiking, for leaving you alone with it.
Come back and say that to my face.
Ethan reaches toward her, but his hand passes through rain and turns to static. When she wakes, her phone shows a flash flood alert for today. The past echoes into the present, like a cruel joke. Sophie calls in sick and drives toward the mountains anyway, stopping at the last safe overlook. She stares at the distant ridge and imagines a version of Ethan walking there, alive, unaware of how she is pleading into the air. Rain starts as mist, then becomes needles. The river below swells, brown and fast. She understands then that the storm is not a plot twist. It is physics, gravity, water, and stone. Back at the station, she records a calmer message. Not because she gives up, but because panic might push him to prove her wrong.
if you feel pressure to impress anyone, you do not need to. The mountain will still be there next week.
The recorder answers with a faint burst of laughter. Soft and almost happy, Sophie clutches the mic. Like it is a lifeline, she spends the rest of the day translating the clicks into a pattern. 1 click after his name, 2 clicks after the word storm. She tells herself it means he is listening. She refuses to decide what it means about the outcome. By the 4th day, the recorder behaves like a dying animal. The reel stutters. The signal drops mid-sentence. Gordon sets a security lock on the archive door. Ryan slips Sophie a key card, eyes wide.
If he catches you in there, you are done!
Then I make it count.
She sneaks in before sunrise, the station quiet. The halls smelling like floor polish and old ambition. She records once, the reel squealing. Then rewinds and records again, because she is terrified. Her words will vanish into noise.
Today is clear. In the city, in the mountains. Clouds build fast. If you see the wind shift, turn around. Do not prove anything.
Static eats the last clause. Sophie bites her lip until she tastes blood. She stops trying to be clever. She stops trying to hide behind forecasts. She starts the final message with the one thing she never says.
Ethan, it is Sophie. I like you. I like you for so long. It becomes part of how I breathe. I like you since you pick up my notebook in the library and ask if I am okay. I like you since you remember. I hate cilantro, and you push it off my plate like it is no big deal. I like you since you say my voice sounds warm, like sunlight after rain.
Her throat closes. She forces the next words out, because regret only grows when it stays silent.
If I can do it again, I tell you sooner. I do not let fear steal my chance. If you can hear this, please come back, or at least, please know you are loved.
The recorder crackles, and the room fills with a sharp, electrical whine. The red light blinks like a heartbeat, then dims. Footsteps slam in the hallway. Gordon's voice barks, close and furious.
Open that door right now!
Sophie's hands shake so badly, she nearly drops the microphone. Mara appears beside the door, blocking it with her body.
Gordon, step away. You do not want this scandal on your desk.
This is theft of equipment and sabotage of station time!
Then fire me too. But you are not stopping her message.
Sophie keeps speaking into the microphone, eyes shut, as if she is carving words into stone.
When storms come, I always think of you. I always wonder if a different warning could change everything. I cannot fix the past, but I can stop blaming myself forever. If you do not return, I will still live. I will still talk to the sky for a living, and I will carry you softly, not like a punishment, but like a song.
The recorder makes one last click, clean and final. The reel stops. Silence falls. Thick as fog. Sophie lowers the microphone, and her knees fold. Mara catches her. Gordon stares at the dead machine, unsettled for the first time, as if he feels the weight of what he almost threw away.
What did you just do?
I said goodbye before it eats me alive.
Outside the station, a light rain begins, gentle at first, then steady, like the world is answering in the only language it has. Gordon returns with a locksmith. That afternoon, Mara delays them with paperwork and sarcasm, buying Sophie hours. Sophie writes her final script on a yellow legal pad, each line short enough to survive a weak signal. She rehearses without sound, mouth-shaping words, because she is afraid the machine will die mid-confession. In the booth, Ryan routes a private channel to monitor the old frequency. He listens with headphones, face pale,
There is a voice on the other side. It is faint. It sounds like a man.
Sophie's pulse stumbles. She grabs the mic and speaks fast, as if speed can outrun fate.
Ethan, answer me. Where are you right now?
Static. Then a strained voice breaks through, clipped by distance and time.
On the trailhead, we are about to start. Your warning keeps repeating. Sophie, is that you?
Sophie's vision blurs. She cannot breathe for a second.
Yes. It is me. Turn back. I am not joking. I am not being dramatic. Turn back now.
The sky looks clear. The forecast on my phone says light showers.
That forecast is wrong. Mine is the one you need. Please, trust me. Please, trust the version of you that listens to my voice every Wednesday.
There is shouting behind Ethan. Friends calling him, teasing him.
They are waiting. If I bail, I break the promise.
Promises can be remade. Death cannot. Choose me just once.
Silence stretches. Then Ethan exhales. A sound full of conflict.
I want to. I do. But I also want to see the view. I want to be the person I said I am.
You can be that person alive.
The signal drops. The line snaps back to static. Sophie pounds the recorder, not hard enough to break it, but hard enough to hurt her hand. Because pain is easier than helplessness, Mara grabs her wrists and holds them still.
You did everything you could.
It is not enough.
Then she records the confession anyway, because love does not wait for permission. After the last click, Sophie walks out past Gordon without speaking. She is too hollow to fight. She expects to be fired. Instead, the next day Gordon avoids her eyes, and HR sends a vague email about frequency interference and community concerns. Mara tells Sophie a listener complains about the budget cuts. The complaint is detailed, like someone writes it with love and anger. Sophie does not ask who. She does not want another hope to claw at her ribs. That night, she sits with the dead recorder and listens to the tape she makes. The confession, the promises, the goodbye. She does not hear Ethan's reply, but she feels it anyway, like warmth left in a sweater after someone stands up. A year later, Sophie sits in a renovated studio. The weather desk is gone, but her voice is not. She builds a new segment called Time Weather, a place where forecasts meet stories people never send. Listeners call in to share regrets. Sophie answers with kindness that sounds like survival.
If you love someone, say it. If you are scared, say it anyway. The storm does not wait.
Mara retires. Ryan becomes producer. Gordon transfers to another market after a public complaint about his budget cuts. Sophie keeps the dead recorder on a shelf, not as a shrine, but as proof that she once tried with everything she had. On a bright March morning, a letter arrives, hand-addressed, the paper thick and worn. The return address is a name Sophie recognizes from old search articles. Ryan Park, Ethan's hiking friend. Not the producer Ryan, a different Ryan, older now. Sophie's hands shake as she opens it, because hope still hurts, even after grief becomes familiar. Inside is a single page and a small radio badge. The page says they carry a pocket radio on the hike. They hear a strange forecast. Ethan laughs and says it sounds like Sophie. They debate turning back. Ethan hesitates. Then he says the ridge is a promise, and he wants to see the view they plan together. He tells them, if they ever meet Sophie, tell her he hears her, and he likes her too. Sophie reads the line again and again. Her chest aches, but the ache is not hollow anymore.
He hears me. He hears me. And he still goes.
Mara's old words return. Sound moves hearts. It does not always move choices. Sophie steps to the studio window. Sunlight cuts through clouds, turning the city glass into a quiet ocean. She speaks on air that day with a steady voice, because she is finally telling the truth to the present.
Today is clear, with a high near 70. Tonight turns cooler. Bring a light sweater, and if you are holding an unspoken love, do not wait 5 years. Do not make your heart a locked archive.
After the broadcast, she stays alone in the studio. She holds the little radio badge in her palm and lets herself whisper,
Ethan, I know. Thank you for being in my youth. I will place our regret somewhere gentle.
Outside, the wind shifts. A small rain passes and ends, leaving the streets clean. Sophie breathes in. She does not feel saved. She feels awake. The forecast music fades. The silence that follows is not empty. It is a space she can finally live inside. After the letter, Sophie invites Ethan's friend to the station. They sit in the lobby with bad coffee and too many years between them. The friend tells her Ethan keeps a small notebook on hikes. Inside are rude sketches and silly jokes, and one page with Sophie's name. He says Ethan plans to ask her out after the hike. He even buys a cheap bouquet and leaves it in his car. Sophie listens without collapsing, because she has practiced surviving the truth. Later she drives to the edge of the city, where a memorial plaque sits near a river. She brings no flowers, only her voice.
I am sorry. I wait. I am grateful. You notice anyway.
She sits on the curb and lets the wind take her words. She does not ask the past to change. She asks the present to hold. Back at the station, a young intern asks her how she keeps talking about storms without sounding afraid. Sophie thinks of Ethan, of the crackling recorder, of the click that feels like a hand squeeze across time.
I am afraid. I just do it while I am afraid.
That night she writes the next day's forecast, then adds a line for herself on the bottom of the page. Say it sooner. She tapes it above her desk, right where the studio light hits it every morning. The regret is still there, but it no longer owns her. It sits beside her like a quiet roommate, and she learns to live anyway. Time weather becomes popular, not because it is flashy, but because it tells the truth nobody says out loud. People send emails about missed chances, about parents they never thanked, about friends they ghosted before a funeral. Sophie reads them with a steady voice, then gives a forecast and a small permission slip to be human. Some nights, she still dreams of rain and streetlights. Ethan is there, always almost there. In those dreams, he never accuses her. He only smiles, like he is proud she keeps speaking. Sophie starts taking beginner rock climbing lessons, not to chase danger, but to stop letting fear set all her borders. On the first day she reaches the top of a small wall, she laughs out loud, surprised by her own joy. She looks up at the ceiling lights and thinks, I am still here. I am still here. On the anniversary of the hike, Sophie plays a soft instrumental under her forecast. It is the same melody Ethan hums in a campus video. No one else notices. That is fine. The point is not applause. The point is memory that does not destroy her. After the show, she walks to the rooftop of the building and watches clouds drift over the skyline. She speaks a final line into the wind, not to the past, but to herself.
Next time I love someone, I will not hide behind weather.
The city keeps moving. Cars blur on the freeway. People complain about rain, then forget it. Sophie smiles anyway. She knows what a storm can take. She also knows what a voice can leave behind.
Thanks for watching. Follow for more romance stories.